had no plans to go to Barnes & Noble today. But something told me to log on to the Barnes & Noble website, and I noticed that they were having a huge sale. All of their hardcover books are half off, and I think they're also having like buy one get one 50% off on their paperbacks. I've been trying to read all the books that I currently own, and because of this I haven't really been buying new books, but this sale changes things. I can't pass that sale up. So we are going to head to Barnes & Noble, and of course, once I'm done shopping, I will share all the books that I picked up. So let's go. Also, can we talk about how cute my phone case is? So freaking adorable.
The same mistakes that I made when I was 16. Now the thought of making money's feeling more like a pipe dream. I take 2 steps forward and 1,000 back. I shouldn't take this long to get my life on track. Yeah, I swear this basement's gonna be the death of me. So I cry out with a hollow voice, and I fade into the background noise. Cold enough, is this what it feels like? To grow up not knowing how to do anything right. Had big dreams when I was 17, but I've tried and tried and tried, and I just don't think I will ever figure out how to live life. How to live life.
Last time I went to Barnes & Noble, I struggled to find books that I actually wanted to buy, and today I struggled to find books that I didn't want to buy. Like, I literally wanted to buy the whole damn store, and I walked around for such a long time debating whether or not I wanted to buy all these books. I came to the conclusion that yes, I did. So here we are. The first book that I picked up is actually a book that I've read in the past. I've read this entire series, and that is 50 Shades of Grey. I actually already own the entire series, but I own the ebook version, and I've been wanting to buy the hardcover version for such a long time. And this one caught my eye because it is the 10-year anniversary edition. I thought it would look really pretty on my bookshelf. This is originally $31.99, and I got it for $15, so I got it half off, which is crazy. That's the only reason I decided to pick it up today, because I've been eyeing it for a while, but I didn't want to pay 30 bucks for a book that I already have read. I'm going to assume that you guys already know about the 50 Shades of Grey series. It's kind of controversial. Some people love it, other people hate it. The movies are based on the books. The books are 100 times better than the movies, but I still enjoy the movies because I saw the movies first. And if you don't know what the series is about, have you been living under a rock? If so, just Google it really quick. I'm sure Google can tell you. The next book that I picked up is The Fine Print by Lauren Asher. This is my first Lauren Asher book. So many of you guys have recommended this author to me, but I've just never picked up any of her books. This is actually the first time I've seen any of her books in the Barnes & Nobles that I go to. So as soon as I saw this one, I was like picking it up immediately. I think this is dual POV, correct me if I'm wrong. I literally have not opened up the book yet, but from the synopsis on the back, it seems to me that it is going to be dual POV, which I love. I love it when the author gives you both the male and female's main character's point of view. This one follows Rowan and Zara. Am I pronouncing that right? Under Rowan, it goes, I'm in the business of creating fairy tales, theme parks, production companies, 5-star hotels. Everything could be all mine if I renovated Dreamland. My initial idea of hiring Zahra was good in theory, but then I kissed her. Things spiraled out of control once I texted her using an alias. By the time I realized where I went wrong, it was too late. And then Zahra goes, after submitting a drunk proposal criticizing Dreamland's most expensive ride, I should have been fired. Instead, Rowan Kane offered me a dream job. The catch? I had to work for the most difficult boss I ever met. But my heart didn't care. At least not until I discovered his secret. It was time to teach a billionaire that money couldn't fix everything, especially not us. So I'm really excited to read it, and I'll definitely give you guys my thoughts once I do read it. It is part of a series, so if I like this book, I'll definitely read the other books in the series. When the Barnes & Noble associate was cashing me out for this book, she recommended another series from the same author, and I already forgot what series she was talking about. But she said that she absolutely loved this author, so I have really high hopes for this. The next book that I picked up is The Wedding Crasher by Mia Sosa. This is actually a follow-up to The Worst Best Man. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know that I absolutely adore that book. That was one of the first rom-coms that I've ever read in my entire life, and I just fell in love with the main characters. So when I saw this book, I knew I had to pick it up. I had no idea that the author was continuing the series and was going to come out with a second book. So I'm really excited to read this one. I really hope it is just as good as the first one. I highly recommend, if you haven't read Worst Best Man, to definitely pick it up. It's such a cute little heartwarming book that I'm sure you're going to enjoy. And I feel like not a lot of people talk about it, but it's so freaking good. This one is about just weeks away from ditching DC for greener pastures, Solange is roped into helping her wedding planner cousin on a random couple's big day. It's an easy gig until Solange stumbles upon a situation that convinces her the pair isn't meant to be. What's a true blue romantic to do? Crash the wedding, of course. Dean Chapman had his future all mapped out. He was about to check off start a family and was on track to make partner, when his modern day marriage of convenience went up in smoke. Then he learns he might not land an assignment that could be his ticket to a promotion unless he has a significant other, and in a moment of panic, Dean claims to be in love with the woman who crashed his wedding. Doesn't that sound like a good time? What started as a performance for Dean's colleagues turns into a connection that neither he nor Solange can deny. This is fake dating, and I absolutely love that trope. It's one of my favorite tropes to read, so I already know I'm going to enjoy this book so much. The next book that I picked up is another romance one, and it's actually another recommendation from you guys. It is The Dead Romantics by Ashley Poston, I believe is how you say her last name. When I read the synopsis on this book, I knew I had to read it. It sounds like such a funny book. Florence Day is the ghostwriter for one of the most prolific romance authors in the industry, and she has a problem. After a terrible breakup, she no longer believes in love. It's as good as dead. When her new editor, a too handsome mountain of a man, won't give her an extension on her book deadline, Florence prepares to kiss her career goodbye, until she finds a ghost standing at the funeral parlor's front door, just as handsome as ever, and he's just as confused about why he's there as she is. Romance is most certainly dead, but so is her new editor, and his unfinished business will have her second guessing everything she's ever known about love stories. Doesn't that sound like it's going to be a roller coaster of emotions? Like, I'm so ready to read this book. I just have a feeling I'm going to be crying by the end of this book. I don't know why, but something tells me I'm going to be in tears. The next book that I picked up is actually not romance. It's actually horror. I was just intrigued by the title, and then when I read the synopsis, I was like, you know what? This book is coming home with me. And that is The Final Girl Support Group by Grady Hendrix. Doesn't that title make you want to read the book? Lynette is a real-life final girl who survived a massacre. For more than a decade, she's been meeting with 5 other final girls and their therapists in a support group for those who endured the unthinkable, working to put their lives back together. Then one woman misses a meeting, and Lynette's worst fears are realized. Someone knows about the group and is determined to rip their lives apart again, piece by piece. But the thing about final girls is that no matter how bad the odds, how dark the night, how sharp the knife, they will never ever give up. This book pays tribute to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Scream. Scream is actually one of my all-time favorite horror movies, so I'm actually really excited to start reading this. And it's not that long at all. Like, look how thin the book is, so I feel like I'm going to read this in one sitting. I'm just super excited. Fall is right around the corner, and fall weather just makes me want to curl up with a cup of hot chocolate and a good thriller. So I'm really excited to start reading more thrillers on my channel and more horrors as well. And then the next book that I picked up is Bully by Penelope Douglas. Why was that so hard for me to pronounce? I literally tried to pronounce Penelope Douglas' name like 3 times. Like, what is going on? This is my first Penelope Douglas book. I've never read any other books from this author, so I'm really excited. She's another author that so many of you guys are always recommending to me. And it goes, "My name is Tate. He doesn't call me that though. He would never refer to me by a friendly nickname. We were best friends once. Then he turned on me and made it his mission to ruin my life. I was shut out and gossiped about all through high school. His pranks and rumors got worse as time wore on, and I made myself sick trying to stay out of his way. I even went away for a year just to avoid him. But I'm done hiding from him now, and there's no way I'll allow him to ruin another year. He might not have changed, but I have. It's time to fight back." I'm not gonna lie, I'm a little hesitant regarding this book. The fact that he has bullied this girl so much to the point where she's had to get away for an entire year makes me look at him side-eye. I'm trying to go into this book with no expectations, but I don't know if I'm going to enjoy it based on the synopsis. We'll see how this goes. The next book that I picked up is the Hawthorne Legacy, and this is the second book in the Inheritance Games series. I actually haven't read the Inheritance Games. I own the first book. I just haven't had a chance to read it yet, but I definitely want to. If you're not familiar with the Inheritance Games series, it basically follows Avery, who has recently received a huge amount of money from a billionaire that has passed away. She has no idea who this billionaire is or why he decided to give her all of his fortune, but he did. The only condition of her being able to actually have access to that fortune is if she moves into his family's mansion, which means that she has to live with his family, who doesn't like her at all. Again, haven't read the series, but I've heard so many great things about it. So many of you guys have told me that you absolutely adore this series, and it gives me very much Knives Out vibes, which is why I'm super excited to read it, and I feel like I'm going to like this series. Like, I have a good feeling about it, and hopefully I'm not let down. The next book that I picked up is also part of a series, and it is Daughter of the Siren King. Last week I read Daughter of the Pirate King, which is the first book in this series. The series basically follows Alosa, who is a pirate. She is the daughter of the Pirate King. It just follows her and her many adventures. It's a very good series. I absolutely fell in love with the first book. I gave it a 4 out of 5 stars. If you're a fan of the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, definitely check out this series. It very much gives Pirates of the Caribbean, but with a female main character, and I just love it. I freaking love Alosa. I love how sassy she is. I love the Mel character as well written. So much chemistry between those two, and I absolutely adore them. So I definitely recommend to check out this series, and I'm excited to read the second book. The final 2 books that I want to share with you guys are actually 2 books that I ordered online on Amazon. I didn't buy them today, but they did arrive a couple days ago, and I haven't shown them to you guys, so I figured I would include them in this haul. They are The Wicked King and The Queen of Nothing, both by Holly Black. These 2 books are part of a fantasy series called The Folk of Air. I did read the first book in the series, which is The Cruel Prince, and I have to say that I'm not a huge fan of the series so far. I decided to pick up these 2 because even though I didn't really enjoy The Cruel Prince, I wanted to see if the series improved. I definitely prefer the ACOTAR series by Sarah J. Maas a lot more. If you're not familiar with the Folk of Air series, it basically follows a human girl named Jude whose parents were murdered when she was a little girl. She's actually forced to live with the fairy who murdered her family, and since she grew up in the fairylands, she wants to become one of the fairies, and she basically is willing to do anything to gain power and to show them that she can be one of them, if not better than them. Not my fave. Don't really like Jude, if I'm being honest, but I'm definitely going to finish the series because why not? Maybe the 3rd book in the series will change my mind. We shall see. I feel like I got some really good books today at Barnes & Noble, and I'm super excited to read all of them. Like, I literally just want to spend the whole day reading. Let me know in the comments below if you have read any of these books. What are your thoughts on them? Or let me know if they're currently on your TBR. But that's pretty much it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I would love to have you a part of my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.